That's live. I'll go there so people can see me. Hello and welcome to the return of our holiday series, Off the Rails, which we haven't done since Christmas. This is the Easter edition. On this week's show, we'll be discussing figures you didn't think you wanted, but got anyway. Are you persuaded? No, are you pressured or fall into the it crowd? And we discuss some of the past and upcoming movies of 2018. All that and much, much more coming up after this. Thank you, Daryl Braithwaite, for... Braithwaite? No, it might be Brian Adams. I don't know. Who sings Runaway Train?
No.
Production edit point. Remove. Hello, this is episode 13, recorded live on April 20th, 2018. I'm Brad, and joining me tonight we have Max coming to us from South Australia. Hello, Max.
Hello, Brad. How are we?
Good. Yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
Perfectly answered. And coming to us from a post-Commonwealth Games capital of Gold Coast. Gold Coast isn't the capital. Queensland, John.
Exterminate.
Not yet. That is the key word for production for later. But
I'm good, and I'm glad the games are over.
Now is when traffic gets horrible when everyone comes back.
Yeah, pretty much. It was busy straight away as soon as it finished.
And as we can see, the Queenslanders are absolutely enthusiastic about hosting the games.
Yes, they had to get people to come in from other states to attend those said games.
Yeah, we're all alcoholics. We don't want to do it.
But John, I knew you would have been at the female gymnastics. How'd that go?
Oh, it was great. A lot of good sportsmanship there. You know, it's a really great event.
It's all about the spinning and the twirling.
Oh, and those twirls.
Yeah.
Gee, and those spins.
Oh, this is off the rails.
Family fun.
Exactly. This is off the rails, so we're a little bit off formula from our usual show. We do have bot shots to get to a little bit later, and a little bit of Transformers talk. But in the meantime, I think that the last week or so, I've caught up on a few movies from the end of 2017 and into 18. Checked out for Ragnarok or Ragnarok, however your local...
For English listeners, Ragnarok.
However your local tongue pronounces it. Yeah.
Didn't you like it?
Oh, enthusiasm.
I loved it, honestly.
My problem is you've got this powerful race of the Asgard, and then especially if what we've seen at the end of Guardians 2 is just, at the end of this movie they're all on their ship. Okay, we're going to find a new Asgard's the people and not the planet. And the whole second and third act, like when Thor and Natalie, like, how are we going to beat her? I'm thinking, well, if she's all powerful and getting her power from Asgard, then surely you need to destroy Asgard to stop her from being powerful. I wasn't expecting a Fire Guy to come back.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked that. It was a clever ending. You know, it's like, you don't expect them to just get the villain earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
that shot when Hulk just starts running up and he's like, Hulk smash! I'm like, oh, get fucked if he's really going to ruin this for everyone. Like,
I was waiting.
Like, stop. He's like, me no smash.
I was waiting for him to smash that head off it and be back to her being powerful again.
It's sort of tricky for a sec because he does, like, he gets a couple of really good hits in. Like,
he could have beat him.
Yeah. So which would be interesting because if it looks like in the start of Infinity War, Thanos beats Hulk.
Oh, yeah, well.
So, like, I'm not quite sure how the power levels work there. You know, somehow Hulk can obviously beat this guy.
He can obviously be beaten, but he still wouldn't be hurt. Like, you know, you just guess he beats the stamina out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe he just, like, punches him across the universe.
Well, that brings back to for as well. Like in the whole arena battle, and yes, I do agree that should not have been in the trailers at all. The fact that Thor's wielding Hulk's hammer, like that thing's got to have some mass to it. Yes, he might be a god, but he's not all powerful, all strength.
Yeah,
I don't see him being able to wield that hammer as well as the Hulk did.
The physical prowess of the Asgardians is really inconsistent. Like, because sometimes they're just like regular humans, and some of them have powers, and other times they're like all super strong Captain America types, and the movies can't really make up their mind.
From what we're saying at the end, when they're all sort of evacuating on the bridge, then most of them are just human type. We're women and children. Get us to the lifeboats.
Yeah, I think they only get given powers when they're like put in a spot of power, like a position that needs it, like if they're military or something. Like,
yeah, and it just
but it's
a shame. Like I love seeing almighty, all powerful beings being almighty and all powerful when the Asgards in the 4 movies have never really been. We see it, and here in sort of part 3, we sort of see that the whole thing's been going on downward incline since Thor didn't take on the throne in part 1. It's like, no, you didn't take on the throne, so Odin's been getting weaker, and you've just been.
Well, you learn from your mistakes, you know.
Well, he destroyed the place, so
yeah.
But what's that? I'm trying to think of the dead guy's name that the Kiwi bloke, the alien, says. He's like, you know, your other something or whatever.
I can understand.
Like, your other Doug.
Yeah, that's it. Other Doug. He's like, you know, you'd be like Doug. He's like, "Where's Doug?" And then he points to the dead dude. Yeah.
It was almost a bit weird that the director hogged all the best jokes for himself, but like, it was still so funny.
I can understand in Americas and over there where you're not witness or not experiencing New Zealand culture on a daily basis, where that could be fun, cute, whatever. That grounds so much. I hated that character so much.
I thought he was honestly hilarious, man. Like, no joke. I like legit. He was my favorite character in the entire movie, hands down.
No, I knew exactly what the voice actor was, and I was just like, no, it's a rock lord that sounds like a child. It just doesn't make sense.
That's what's so good. Yeah.
I found more humor in the fact that he had pieces missing or falling off him. Like, oh, there goes that one, and stuff like that.
And like when he's got his like mate, like at the end, and he's like, "Oh, how's your friend?" He's like, "Oh no, he's dead." I stood on it, but I've just been carrying him around because I feel really bad. You know, I'm like,
yeah. I think the thing of this movie is that it's not so much. It's not so much a superhero movie as it is a comedy movie.
Yeah,
both, I think, but like, yeah, I know it's Thor and doesn't have as bigger numbers.
Yeah, like, but they have to take a different approach after the first 2 are kind of failures.
But I like the first, and that's just the way it's sort of completely 180 towards the Guardians market is what sort of got me and pissed me off to start with. Some jokes hit. Chris Hemsworth has some great timing and some great humor in it. Him and Loki are fantastic. Even though if Loki keeps on this backflopping all over the place, then
even him and Ruffalo in some scenes at the start, like, you know, when he's trying to find him clothes or something, and he's like, you know, he's like, why don't I get to be in disguise, man? Like, he's like, you're in disguise. No one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you know, also just sort of wigging out and stuff. I'm like, I just loved that whole back and forth between the two of them. He's like, he starts getting angry a bit. And he's like, okay, calm down. Like,
it's the tone of it, like the way that the lines are delivered makes it work so often.
Yeah,
like the whole thing of Loki turning into a snake story. You know, like that normally wouldn't be funny, but it's the way that Chris Hemsworth delivers it makes it like one of the funniest moments in the film.
Yeah. And when they've got the spaceship, and then he's like, it's all just meant for space orgies. And so he's like, don't touch anything.
It's when you get a spacecraft from Jeff Goldblum, and of course space.
Yeah. And that's it, Jeff Goldblum. Like, how can you not like anything that he does?
No, that was.
He's starting to make a comeback now, isn't he? Like, he's in the new Jurassic Park movies as well.
Otherwise, not Goldblum.
He started before this in Independence Day Resurgence, but let's not go too deep into that.
It's not his fault the movie was shit.
Yeah, he was a big part of it. So, Max, did you see Black Panther?
I did see Black Panther. I thought it was. Yep. Sorry.
Oh, go.
I thought it was a excellent movie, but an overrated one.
John, have you seen Black Panther?
No, I just still don't think I can do it. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to before Infinity War because there's going to be clearly vital information that I need. But
you have 5 days.
Yeah.
All right.
You have 5 days, or you have Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I'll probably just go to the cinemas tonight and watch it.
It's not out anymore, but
it is. At my cinemas, it is.
Oh wow! I was going to say you might.
Yes, you had like 3 months.
Yeah, I've got special cinemas that are just for me.
All right. Well, I can't talk about it, so let's going into Infinity War. We've had the last trailer come out just this last couple of days.
If people don't die, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, John, you were saying in the pre-show how clearly Vision must go.
Well, that's it. Like, if anyone's to die, you think, okay, someone who's got an infinity ring stapled on their forehead, he seems a prime candidate because, I'm pretty sure Thanos gets all the Infinity Stones. I mean, I'm not a huge comic buff, but
like the friggin' figures of him having, like, he has all the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, so he has to get all 6. So,
and there'd be a cop out if he doesn't.
But it's been spread across 2 movies, so I don't know if he's going to get them all.
I've heard rumors that once the Infinity Stone gets pulled out of Vision, that he's just going to lie there like a doll, like the body won't die, and you know what I mean. So once they get the stone back and put it back in him, he just comes back alive again, and it's like that's just crap. Like he should die, like ripped out of his forehead, because the stone made the body.
What if Stark puts the Gloria chip in him, so Gloria's controlling him, or Julia, or whatever his Jarvis is now?
No, but it already was. Remember, it was like half Jarvis, half like Infinity Stone. Oh no, it was half Ultron, wasn't it? And half Infinity
it was.
Stone.
I think it was an Ultron bot that he never got a chance.
Yeah, it was Ultron, half Ultron, and Infinity Stone.
Yeah, it was like Ultron. Fuck no, hold on.
It was the code.
Ultron tried to make it with the Infinity Stone, and then Thor hit it with lightning, and that makes Vision somehow. Yeah,
it was going to be a more powerful body for Ultron, but he never got a chance to get to it because they spirited it away.
Yeah, and when Thor hit it, it obviously started his heart.
Yeah.
So
Stark could control it, but it wouldn't have the Vision personality, you'd believe.
I don't think Stark could control a being made via an Infinity Stone.
Well, it'd just be a puppet, it'd be a robot.
But yeah, that's my gripe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's basically no way that in this movie Thanos doesn't kill half the universe. Like, because he does it in the comics, and every trailer has been like, he wants to kill half the universe. So
and I'm
he's clearly going to do that.
But I'm just still have that scared doubt that just no one's going to die.
The thing is, it won't stick. Like, at least by the end of Avengers 4, it'll be turned back and half the universe will be alive again. So what you want to happen is to have just a few characters die with some sense of permanency. Like, Chris Evans' contract expires after the 4th one, so maybe he dies to bring everyone back or something like that.
As in Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, Captain America.
Captain America. I'm horrible with actors.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Use the characters, not the actors.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because I forget half the bloody MCU was named Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
That's why I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like,
Winter Soldier will probably die.
yeah, I could see Winter Soldier going, Captain America going because
But Winter Soldier will die, and then he'll say,
not
no,
Hawkeye.
he's Bucky! And be like,
Falcon's always. I think even in the comics, Falcon's taken over for Captain America at times and become the new
so
one.
probably kill Bucky and have Falcon be with
Yeah, and he's a lot cheaper than Chris Evans. So
probably Iron Man, to be honest with you.
as much as I don't want to see it happen, it probably needs to happen.
Yeah, like
They probably kill off. They might kill off Spider-Man for like emotional weight, and then bring him back.
he's the youngest. They can't kill him off. He's
Can
got
you imagine if they
years
killed
ahead.
Spider-Man? That'd be so good. Like,
Yeah, but
that's the way to get at people.
They might do a fake, like, yeah, you think he dies, but they don't show the body again, and he like springs back in a fight scene, like, aha, look, I'm still alive.
Yeah, but he's not contracted further in the Marvel. Like the next one, Sony's doing next Spider-Man movie. So
yeah, but I'm just saying they couldn't kill off the actual character. It doesn't matter about the actor, you know what I mean? Because they have established that he's young.
yeah,
Got so much potential in the universe.
yeah.
Or you could just like not have any more solo movies and just have him show up in a mask in Avengers movies.
Yeah, that'd suck.
Oh, now they've cast, I'm sure there's going to be a solo trilogy, but that's a different franchise.
The second one comes out. I think it's next year.
Yeah, it's back to back. So
The second Infinity War.
Yeah, that and the second Spider-Man.
yeah. Yeah, I just don't like seeing the trailer and seeing hordes. I haven't seen Black Panther, but clearly most of this or some of this film's taking part in Rwanda.
Or Wakanda,
whatever.
Because what is that in Africa? Okay,
Yeah,
so it's not like on a planet somewhere else. It's not like
yeah, it's not in the middle of New York City, so we're not going to see hordes crawling over New York City, destroying that again because New Yorkers are still.
Oh, we will.
There's
trailers. It was a big fight in New York.
Yeah, well, we saw Spider-Man when the big glowing toilet bowl comes down from the sky. So I'm sure we'll talk about. Apologies for next week's show.
I wish Thanos looked a little better.
He still looks like Rick.
Yeah, looks like he's going to get on some goods. How much do you want for that shield?
Just go and show him some Civil War sidearms. He'll love you.
I'm pretty sure that the crack in the Deadpool 2 trailer where like Deadpool says, "Pump the hate brakes, Thanos."
Oh wow!
I'm surprised they got away with that.
How good's that other bloke in the trailer? And I forget his name. He's like, "Any superpowers?" He's like, "No." He's like, "I just saw the ad." He's like, "Welcome aboard."
And next minute, just free falling over the back of a plane.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so excited for Deadpool 2.
Yeah, any doubts?
He better make it through the movie.
Dalek. Production Dalek.
Like any doubts that I might have for Infinity War, like I've no doubt that Deadpool 2 is going to be insanely good.
I don't,
because all the test screenings have been saying, but it's fantastic.
But just watching that last trailer, I don't know who any of the characters are. I don't care. It's fun. The whole since the beginning, and it hasn't turned up yet, which I'm just pissed off about. But since the first sort of teaser, the Superman teaser in the phone booth, and then that stupid painting with Deadpool little teaser, like that made me get the pop vinyl of Deadpool in that costume with the frilly hair and the easel and the paint.
All
the marketing for this movie's been just perfect. Like,
yeah,
they've barely given away any sort of plot up until like the final trailer. You know, like the first two trailers were really abstract, like Deadpool in a phone booth or Deadpool painting. You know, like they're just doing what they want with it, and people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah,
and it's like a breast cancer video as well. Now like a pink suit that you can win.
Yeah, but it's all Deadpool. It's all right. I forgot his fucking name.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's all Ryan Reynolds. Like, just he's his voice acting, like even before we started the show, I was watching Deadpool's Darth Vader and Deadpool's blah blah blah. Just it's him. It's Ryan Reynolds. It's just there's so many jokes.
I think what's really good about him is how he can emote through the suit. Like the part where he goes at the end, where he goes to that Peter guy, you're in. Like just the way he moves his head and everything, it's still convincing.
Yeah,
like of what the character's thinking. It's so well done.
Yep, and now you got this no powers guy diving out of the back of an airplane with a parachute. I'm like, what is that?
I have no clue why they included that, but it's just so good.
Because it's also that everyone else is getting grilled, like when they're like, "What's your powers? What can you do?" and stuff. But he's just like, "No powers. Just saw the ad." And he's like, "Welcome aboard." Sweet. Like, you're honest.
Yeah. No care what the danger could be. I suppose lastly, the other movie I've seen this week was Justice League going over to DC. I don't know if it was just a TV watching on DVD and not being in the cinema, but the Henry Cavill lip sync CG, I was looking for it and I didn't notice it.
Everything about Justice League, like all the bad stuff, I feel like it's overstated. Like,
for the most part, I didn't mind. I just don't care about the world. All the DC gods, Steppenwolf and all that. Okay, it exists. I don't care about it. It's just
you need a better villain than Steppenwolf for starters. Like, who cares about this guy? He's a third-rate villain from the comics. It's just no one cares about him.
Yeah, and I just didn't find him interesting at all. And
he's also got no chemistry. Like, because the actor who plays him, who's like a guy from Game of Thrones, he said that he was never on set with any of the other actors.
Yeah.
So like, there's no chemistry there at all.
Yeah, no, I get that. It sounded like Patrick Stewart a couple of times. I thought it was bloody the poop emoji talking, but it's just. I
don't think it's that bad, but it did feel really generic.
The only problem you sort of see with it is just because they've gone straight to that after Batman vs Superman. It's like, yes, okay, we've had Wonder Woman, which I thought was incredibly overrated. I didn't really care for that much at all. And now you're going to introduce Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg as well with...
as bad as Wonder Woman was, it was still better than Batman vs Superman, the Superman movie. And I'm not saying it's a good movie,
good by default,
but it's still better than the Superman and Batman vs Superman. That's my opinion, anyway.
Here's the thing with Wonder Woman and Black Panther is that everyone's talking about how they're the greatest superhero movies of all time, and I'm like, and I do think that they're a good thing for
people take a lot of drugs before they went and watched the movie.
It is a good thing to have this diversity on the screen, but it doesn't make it a good movie.
The Wonder Woman was by far not the greatest, movie I've ever seen, or superhero movie I've ever seen. It was good. It was all right. It was definitely good for a DC movie. I was impressed compared to Batman vs Superman, which took me several attempts to actually get to the end.
Yeah, personally, if you want to see a chick kicking butt, I'll watch any of the Resident Evil movies over that any day. I'll watch the first two Tomb Raiders with Angelina Jolie over Wonder Woman any day. I just Gal Gadot, however you want to do it's fine. But I just wonder how.
I guess that does show the difference, because I wouldn't watch Resident Evil, the last ones. I hate them because I'm a huge fan.
They got bad,
I'm not a fan of Wonder Woman at all. Don't know anything about her, so that's when I watch that movie. I'm like, yeah, it's a decent movie. But see, Resident Evil 1 and 2 were good, but all the ones after that were just ridiculous. It had nothing to really do with the games or Umbrella. They just made it stupid in Hollywood. It's a very much imagine how you feel about Michael Bay with the Transformer universe. That's what the Resident Evils were after 1 and 2.
And that's adapting source material. the average.
There was enough
video-
material to not need to adapt. You could have had heaps of content from the games, like good, well-written stories, you know?
Yeah, but a
Yeah,
video...
isn't it like they make the main character like a side character in the movie or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
just think too, like any video movies...
Jill Valentine was never like, crazy like that and stuff.
No,
she was a normal human being and,
They did the same thing with the Halo movie, which everyone forgot came out. It's like they just get the main character and make him show up like right at the very end.
Yeah.
Was that Crystal Skull?
Halo Crystal.
Yeah.
There's a Halo movie? I thought that was
I know. Everyone talks about, why isn't there a Halo movie? Or the Halo movie or Neil Blomkamp's Halo movie had so many issues. And like that did happen, and there's another one in development. But there was this one that came out a couple of years ago called Forward Unto Dawn, and it's complete shit. That's why no one remembers it.
Oh, okay.
It's on Netflix, eh?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll be watching it tomorrow.
Give it a try.
It's the same thing they do with Resident Evil. They just take the main character and put him to the side.
And they just like chop and change the story to just, like see how they want it. Like.
But I just wonder if there's an issue with just the pure old-fashioned fact of trying to make a comic book movie into a real life, and especially bringing it from the 50s or 60s when it was written to today. Everyone hates, Iron Man has to fight another guy in an Iron Man suit, he's Ironmonger. Bloody Wonder Woman has to fight a god. Like, I hated Ares and all that shit for the third act of Wonder Woman. Like, why can't you just kick a Nazi in the ass and save Steve Trevor? Like, just
because of the PC era.
Whatever. And now, like, even in Black Panther, you've got Iron Warrior. No, whatever.
I was going to say Maiden.
Oh, whatever the guy's like. It's like it's the name of the guy in the comic, but it's shit because it's from the 60s. Like, adapt the comics. They're already so far different because you're telling a movie across a wide series of comics already. It's like Loki's been one of the better Marvel villains because he's Loki, he has mythology and whatever else.
So what's your gripe? That you don't like that they brought in a new villain? Or?
No. Just more so that they're bringing stories in from comics that may be 30 or 40 years old, but they're updating some of the story, but not updating the characters.
Oh yeah, like the massive thing of Thor Ragnarok is that it's really, really referential to the old Walter Simonson Thor comics.
Yeah.
Like, which is just really, really 80s. And I mean, they're great and enjoyable, but it's a degree of like to what extent you want to capture that feeling, as opposed to just making something that works well in a cinematic format.
Yeah, and I'll have to go back and watch the trailers because I was absolutely certain when the trailers come out. Whenever Valkyrie, whatever her name was, fucking
Planet of the Thousand Cities or whatever.
No. Valkyrie in 4, 4 bloody Bit Chaser 51217 or whatever its name was. Whenever 4 said like you're Valkyrie, I was thinking like, well, no, Valkyrie's more than just one person, but the trailer's suggesting that she's the one, like Neo, and then. Once you get to the film, it's like you're one of the Valkyrie, and that makes more sense. It's just marketing turned me off that character straight away because it was saying, "Well, you're this when you're not that." But
see, I don't normally watch a lot of trailers, and I guess that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah,
because I've been let down before when you like watch trailers and you're like, "Okay, this looks really good," and then legit what you saw in the trailer was that whole scene.
Yeah,
and then you don't see anymore. And I'm like, so I try not to watch trailers now. But
have you seen the trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story?
No.
Good. So you're going to go
watch
it?
No, I don't watch Star Wars.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I still haven't seen The Last Jedi. Whatever.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, I'm just not into Star Wars anymore. Like, I'm just
Last
completely
call.
off it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I do. I'm probably still going to go see Solo just because it looks a bit better, but I did get burned a bit by The Last Jedi, so I'm apprehensive.
I've heard that it looks horrible, but then again, you know.
When it first couple trailers came out,
like, not meaning you, but I mean, I haven't asked people, like, you know, but I've only heard from a few that they reckon it looked really bad.
Yeah, from behind the scenes, it sounds like a nightmare, like all the reshoots and acting coaches and whatever. But then the trailers looked really good, so
It's Ron Howard. It's Ron Howard. Some of the best movies ever made were made by Ron Howard.
It's like, choose a name, Brad. Stick with it.
I'll get there if the tongue fucking says what the mind wants to speak. But yeah, it's just, and that's a shame where there's so many issues in the background with.
Didn't Harrison Ford say he wasn't going to watch it?
He's dead. He doesn't. He doesn't exist in Star Wars.
Doesn't care about anything anymore.
He got his wish. He's dead, so he doesn't have to do anything Star Wars related ever again.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, even he wouldn't watch it. He isn't going to watch it.
Yeah, like people asked him, "Are you looking forward to watching this movie?" And he said, "Nah." Because he just doesn't care anymore. Like even the interviews with like Blade Runner and the fourth Indiana Jones, he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can imagine when that comes out. Anyway, that's enough. We got a little bit here of on topic stuff to talk about briefly for tonight. Bot Shots winner. We're going to do this now, so we don't have two of them do next week, because we should have mentioned this earlier. Jason is down in Melbourne preparing for Supernova Melbourne, so we wanted the whole gang to be here for episode 150, which we're going to do next week. So happy 149, guys. But this week, Hotshots winner is once again Rob Kindleside, who won last week as well with his Grimlock stealing the burger from the Flintstones mobile. This week, objects may appear in mirror, may appear close. Oh, I really stuffed that up.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Got the Beast Wars Megatron vibing the Jurassic Park theme with objects in mirror closer than they appear. So, good job, Rob.
Did anyone ask him about that Flintstones car? Like, is that like the toy from ages ago, or did he make it, or what?
Looks like a custom to me.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool.
It is.
It's like actual wood put together.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure. Like, bits of it look like, you're right, like some of it looks like it could be made, but then other bits look like it could be actual toy. Like, yeah.
I don't recall if any figures come out with the 1991 Flintstones movie or not. So,
yeah, if he's made it, that's pretty cool, real cool.
If someone's not doing anything shortly, they can Google Flintstones movie toys. But yeah, you got two shots in the April giveaway. So good luck, congratulations, and we'll see what happens at the end of the month. I got stopped sharing, didn't I? No, I didn't. I think I did. You can both see me.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. We posted up looking for a question in the group, and Denny sort of posted that he'd like to hear how much the fandom plays a role in your collecting habits. I suppose how much, either looking at the Facebook group, any of the Facebook groups or online sites, if you see a bot, you just want to get it.
Yeah, I want to say it plays a massive, massive part. Like, is virtually nothing I don't buy, but isn't to some great extent influenced by what you see on the online groups.
That's what I was going to ask you. You've got Pyrokill and talk highly of it. Would it be a figure you would have sort of looked at getting without seeing praise for it before?
I don't think so. Like, certainly with the knowledge I had of the market and just seeing that figure, like, I would have bought it anyway. But in terms of actually, getting that background knowledge, so, knowing about third-party stuff and what companies are reputable and what to look for in a good figure, like, that is something that you'll, of course, develop over time, but a massive amount of your knowledge in that regard comes from just talking and interacting with other people in the community.
Yeah. I suppose an extension of this is sort of bots you've brought.
I'd buy anything if I like it. Like, I mean, I'll like run with Max. Like, there's definitely you definitely see things that may then influence a purchase. Like that, But like, I mean, I probably like you said, I'd probably end up buying the thing anyway. Like, because if it was something I wanted it. Like, I didn't, I already knew of it then before someone said, "Hey, do you know this?" Or someone's told me, "Hey, this bot exists," because they know I like that robot, or something. And then I go look at it. But like, I know that people think the Seeker mold's shit, you know what I mean? And I love it. Like, I love the Seekers, and I'm not saying it is the best mold, but I don't care what anyone says. Like, I buy stuff for me, like, purely, like, I could, I've got Sailor Moon figures, but the fandom doesn't really influence me in any regard, but like, I have made better like choices because of seeing stuff online, for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to not necessarily objective choices, but just the hype surrounding stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, look at something like the Studio series. Maybe those figures are as good as we might think they are. Maybe they're even better. Who knows? But I think a lot of, so much of excitement for those has just been the hype train.
Well, they are good robots though. Like Blackout. Like, I still haven't seen one, but I still legit am going to buy him and want him because I just
like Blackout. Massively, that's not to say I'm not massively excited for him. Like, I've got 3 of them on pre-order. I'm probably going to buy more, but it just comes down to like, you have to. I'm unsure of how much that is influenced by me making an objective purchasing decision and how much of that is just influenced by everyone else is excited about this, so I am too.
Yeah, but once you get the bot, like, if you like it, like, it doesn't matter, would it? If, like, you go online and everyone on TCA is like, no, they're horrible, the joints are loose, like, it can't transform this or that. Does it matter? If you like it, who cares if it's got kibble on its back or whatnot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I have some figures that are bad, like, in engineering terms and stuff, but I love it, because it's mine.
Well, just going into an example, John, is there something, just one figure that you've brought that you wouldn't normally, it wouldn't fit your collection at all, but just going off hype or word of mouth that people have said, this thing's fantastic, you have to buy it, that you've gone out and
done? Like, definitely, like, the Toy World Devastator. Like, the big yellow one. Like, I never was interested in Devastator, really, especially not the yellow ones. Like, I only ever knew of the green one when I was little, and then when I got older and got wiser, found out about all the different color variants. But after seeing it, like, and hearing, seeing so many shots and people doing things with it, holding drink bottles and stuff, like, I was like, yeah, screw it. Like, and I'd already bought a few combiners before then, which were just as expensive and not as big. So I was like, and I was sort of over them by that stage, but it was one that by far, like, I definitely bought due to, seeing how people reacted with it and was talking about it.
Yeah. What about you, Max?
Yeah, but it does happen a fair bit. I mean, a lot of the stuff I just buy because I want it, but some stuff, like, not so much Transformers specifically, because I do generally buy a lot of what other people are buying. But
well, what about the KO oversized Scorn, for instance? Like, that's you wouldn't have brought that for your Age of Extinction or the Last Night Dinobot collection. Like, that would have been a one-off.
Right. Yeah, and that's like sort of a chain reaction type thing. Like, I would never have considered buying the Wei Jiang big movie Nemesis Prime because I just thought it's a KO, right? But then you hear so many good things about that, so I buy that, and then I think, oh well, now I can upgrade my score as well because this company does great stuff. So it's like you continue on in that sense. And you get things which don't really fit in anywhere else in your collection. Like I've got the figure of Gypsy Avenger from Pacific Rim Uprising, which I haven't. That's the only figure from that movie I've got, but everyone says this is an amazing piece. So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that.
Side question: are they an official licensed release, or is that NECA?
Yeah, they're Bandai ones.
The Gypsy Danger.
Expensive. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, they're like the Gypsy Avenger's like $25. The Bandai
shit.
Yeah.
Ah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm so glad NECA. On a side note, I'm glad NECA lost the license because they're an objectively bad company.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
They have this sort of rabid fan base, though, where if you criticise them, they'll just jump down your throat.
Yeah, I feel like NECA stuff looks good, but
on Twitter.
NECA stuff looks good, and that's about as far as it goes.
And I'm not saying this as an outsider. Like NECA's like the third most collected company in my collection. Like, got shelves of them.
It's got boxes and boxes of all of the like horror movie stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
no, you go.
Oh, okay. And sort of going into other things too. Like I've picked this guy up during the week, which let me just bring up.
Is he a wrecker?
Bring up right screen. Leadfoot from Dark of the Moon.
Yeah.
This is a KO of, I'm guessing it's the deluxe, but just it's got all the Gillette. He's got the Energizer, all the marketing material on him, and he's like the armored car when you transform him. It's one question we're going to get to. We need a little bit more time to get around to organising our own collections, but just those that collect movie figures, what are your definitive character releases for each figure? Now that the movie Masterpiece stuff's coming out, that might change a little bit. Max, you went and got Purakill. Are you a big movie collector after getting that figure?
Not really. Like even the movie stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of the movies themselves or the designs, but a lot of the influencing on my collecting habits has come from people saying, "Oh, all these third party and knockoff movie figures are really well engineered," and so you get into it from just that sort of perspective.
Yeah.
I still really love the Jetfire Blackbird. To be honest, I still think in all of the Transformer universes, that's a great figure.
Yeah.
And like the only downside is the rubber noses, like because of safety standards. I wish that they were just hard plastic, so they didn't, like the tips didn't bend, on the engines and the very nose of it. But like that's by far one of my most, I reckon, best figures in all of the movies that came out.
I always feel like I should go back and get more into Revenge of the Fallen line because there's just some crazy stuff in that.
Yeah, like there's lots that are swing and miss, but there's some that are great.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff like some of the crazy Constructicons they did, and we just said, "Fuck the budget, let's just make a crazy figure."
Yeah. Well, here's hoping for better Constructicons in the Studio series. We'll see what happens with that and how much they want to.
I always like that one that didn't have any legs. Like once it's like in bot mode, and it has like the tracks sort of become all dangly and stuff on it, and it's like there was a red one and a yellow one.
Bone Crusher.
Yeah. I've been hunting for that red version for so long, but it's like $100 for a deluxe figure.
Yeah,
there's just no way.
I had it. You should have told me. I sold it. Like carbon sale.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh no.
So you don't want to know how much I sold them for.
Oh wow. Yeah. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But that sort of gets in the other thing too about just being pressured by fandom about collecting figures. I think I've made it pretty well known on the podcast previously. Whenever someone gets MP36 Megatron or MP ... Sunstreaker, just my disapproval. More. That's just more of a knee-jerk reaction to people's love of it. I don't know why. That's just me.
On the topic of Megatron and how it relates to that sort of thing, I'm selling mine now because I've heard so many good things about the knockoff.
Which wouldn't exist if not for the new version of Megatron.
Yeah, and I still love that figure, but like,
I'm just supporting it, saying that's how good why everyone likes it. Like, even the KOs are a lot better, I admit, but they still wouldn't be there if they didn't redo Megatron.
Yeah, it's like, and obviously the KOs don't have to spend as much money as Megatron.
No, but that's my point. That's why they're better, like, because they still wouldn't exist if Takara didn't reissue it and make that, new figure for them to work off. Like,
yeah, you almost feel a bit guilty for doing it, but like, I want a better figure.
Well, yeah, they should have done it right to start with.
I mean, I don't personally mind myself really at the end of the day, because like I'm not the corporations, and like we don't really know like if supporting KOs would really affect the companies. But like if it does, and it does end up doing something, like I am going to laugh at most of the people that always sold all their officials to go buy KOs, because in turn, that could be destroying the figures that you love so much.
But then
I can't support that. You know what I mean? That's just
I guess the big companies are growing at such a rate that it doesn't really have much bearing on it.
It won't necessarily affect them. I don't mean in the regards that they're going to go bankrupt, but they could definitely just go, well, we're not going to support it anymore. We're sick of our designs getting stolen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to stop making these figures, and then KO companies aren't going to just start putting in all this money to keep making new figures.
Well, so that I'd say put them out there. Hasbro, put them in Toys R Us Australia so you don't have to import them. John, did you have to get another 12 or 13 or something last week imported to sell?
The Megatrons?
Yeah.
Oh, I've gotten over 20 now so far.
Yeah.
Sending them out.
That's if local retail, if Hasbro Asia, if they were at Toys R Us for $400, people would go and buy them. I get it. I'm not. I'm just I've bought some KOs though as well. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just saying it just will be funny if like it does end up actually affecting things in years to come. Like, we don't really know. It's been like the Hasbro Seekers, the Coneheads, all being Takara exclusives through the Takara Toy Shop. It's like, well, you're making them hard to get to. Of course, if a KO version comes out for $100, people are going to go and buy it.
Oh yeah, like these companies made stupid decisions.
Yeah,
there's no question. Like, even on the subject of those Marvel movies we were talking about earlier, Bandai says, "Oh, what Black Panther made like $1 billion or so? All right, let's make our new figure arts version harder to get than any of our other Marvel figures."
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Things should be limited in a collector's world. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point. Like, of collector's items. They're not mass produced and just churned out so every single person can get them.
They should be available for those that want to collect them, and without being a high price point. Like,
they should.
They will sell. Like, on the rare occasions that Hasbro actually does sell their collector-oriented stuff for any of their franchises, to our Australian big box retailers, they go out like that. Like, you see people going in and clearing the entire stock of Studio Series as soon as it hits shelves, regardless of waiting for a sale or anything like that, because people want these high
figures.
Yeah, but that's
exactly.
And once again, that's like an American company and an American motivation. But like SH Figuarts is Japanese. You got to think like Japanese didn't even want to, let any of their culture outside of Japan, like anything, like martial arts, all sorts of things. Like, so their toys, that's why they still make them limited. Like, you know what I mean? Because they know that the Japanese are smart enough to pre-order them and get onto it straight away. That's like, I think that is what like their small little screw you to the sort of rest of the world. That's why they make things like that, like the new Black Panther, and make it a limited edition, hard to get and web exclusive, because they don't want the rest of the world to have one. They really don't. Like, and I'm not trying to be mean.
No, we got the Dalek. Yeah, but that's completely understandable. But you only got to look at MP10. or whatever.
Yeah, how many times does that come out?
Yeah, Takara are doing MP711 and Shattered. Oh, did Takara do Shattered Glass, or was that only Hasbro?
It was like a co-distribution thing. I
Yeah.
think like the movie Masterpiece ones.
Yeah, like they're not ashamed to reissue and redo stuff. You only go look at Shockwave, Ironhide, all got reissued within 12 months of the initial release coming out. Like
end of the day, they're multi-billion-dollar companies. Like what they're concerned about is making money.
Yeah. I don't see how the concern in making money ends with we're gonna release the Seekers, the Conehead Seekers at our exclusive shop, and we're gonna put $300 on it, and that's it, or $200. I think it was $200 at the time, and go.
Because that's my point, is that because they don't care about everyone.
Exactly.
They make enough money through other ventures that they don't, the things that they truly care about and take their pride because it came from their country. Or, like things like Transformers, which did come from their country. They don't care that everyone else gets them, and they want just them to have that small amount. That's why they do it on the Takara web, so online, and that's, I'm not trying to be stupid or hurtful. Like, I like that they do that. Like, I think in a collector's world, I still want companies to do things like this, because that's what makes the figures more sought after. That's why there is so many KO companies making these KOs and other people rushing out and buying them, going, oh, these are even better than the licensed stuff. So what? It's KO. Tell me that in 10 years, see how much it's worth. Oh, this has got better joints. I don't care. It's KO. It's worth nothing. But it'll all go down in price, and all the licensed stuff will still go up and up because these companies still exist.
Yeah, like the KOs have been going for a few years now, and I haven't really seen the price.
Like, there's definitely been like price, reflects, like not so much in everything. Like, there has been other companies that have gone under, like Yamato and stuff with Robotech, like some of the Valkyrie other companies that have died because of KOs that just made them cheaper, and they stopped and physically said, we're not doing it anymore. And that's 100% happened. Yeah.
Shit.
But that sort of goes back to the KO of Megatron again. Like you said, like they only care about releasing X amount of figures. When you've got such a large marketplace that want a masterpiece Megatron that isn't the MP05, sorry, MP5, it's like, oh, we can't. Well, they're only on eBay now because the second release is done and no one's selling them. Or for $500. Well, I can get this KO version of it for $120. Or whatever it's going for.
Yeah, eBay market's stupid though. Like, if they were still retail, I reckon people would still buy them if they could get. Because that's it. I know people that I'm still sending them to, so they're still buying them for retail price.
I'm sure you can go to Big Bay Toy Store or whatever. You're making up for the lack of the Australian dollar, but you're going to do that with any international buying as it is. So,
like, I agree that the KOs would be even better. But that's my point. That's why I think, like, I'm just surprised that you get so upset that there's so much love for the new Megatron. Like, because I think he's a great feat of engineering. Figure. So those new KOs would be even better. Like, honestly, like, from what I've seen, some of them look really good. Like,
No, to clarify, I'm not saying the KOs are better or should be better. I'm just saying the fact that people can get that mold for a fraction of the cost, because that mold's not available at a price people think it's worth, and it's a higher price figure to start with. My listeners would go back a few episodes to hear my indiscretions with it. It just. I had the MP5, I had Apollyon, and they're perfect. They're fine Megatrons. I just don't see the need to buy.
Come on, MP5 was definitely not a fine Megatron. Like,
it's a gun mode
Megatron. It's a good looking gun, but it ain't like Megatron.
I don't know, 10 years ago, it probably would have been a fine Megatron.
Even then, I feel it was pretty bad. Standing next to Optimus Prime, MP1, and then you get MP5 and saying, like, it was like, what happened?
Well, it was built for MP5, but not done. Well, we know the history. We know the designers were locked in a hotel for 12 days to design and all that. But that aside, like, it's a thing of its times. That MP5 with the third-party sniper kit, that thing is the perfect gun mode Megatron to have displayed.
Yeah, but if you get every MP, like every single one, like 1 to the current, like 40, and we had them all out in display, do you not honestly agree that 5 just looks out from all of them? Like out of all of them, you'd see them standing there, and you'd be like, "That looks good." You'd go 1, 2, 3, go through and go, "That looks alright. That looks alright." You get to 5, and you'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like especially looking at 6 and 7, and afterwards, like it looks different from everything else. Like
and again, that just comes down to what happened behind the scenes with how it was made. Like apart from MP Magnus, like it's the worst masterpiece that's ever been made. I have no disagreement. But in gun mode with the third party add-on sniper kit, that thing is the best MP scaled Megatron gun mode that you'll ever get.
Yeah, I wish I had that third party add-on kit.
It's stupid. It's worth more than the figure. But
I saw at the trade day ages ago, like the figure and add-on kit for like $100 total.
Damn, because I'd really like to get that and then put it in the glass case on the wall, and just have breaking case of Optimus Prime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for that.
You just look blown away there. I hadn't thought of that.
Just as a display piece in of itself, because Megatron is he's got such an iconic alt mode.
Yeah, like you put that in your lounge room, you don't even need another Transformer there.
No.
You have this great big replica gun with the giant purple Decepticon ECD on the side.
Yeah, and we're about to get into the giant big replica guns. But it goes back to that thing of not having to have all your collection in bot mode. Like you might have MP36, and that's in your eyes might be the perfect Megatron to display with the MP10. But just to have that MP5 like just on display in a glass case or whatever in sniper mode, like that's the perfect.
I have MP5 and I kept it in gun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I love it. Like I do support it. I want to still get the gold one because you can get it real cheap now.
Yeah,
like $150 or something. Like, ooh.
Yeah. And that's sort of one of those things, like going to one news story that we probably won't talk about in the regular show. Who are they? They're MDEC, Iron Blaster, MDEC, yeah. They're looking at doing a third party Optimus Prime G1 blaster.
Human-sized G1 blaster.
Yep.
You could buy it, use it for your cosplay.
I've got one getting made up by Nick, local member. It doesn't light up like this one does. So it's just, there's been a few people, a few fans doing kits for the G1 Prime blaster.
And this seems to be the most fully featured one so far.
Yeah.
They probably just stole the design and then added in the LEDs, and I was like, yeah, sweet, that's good.
I'd hate to know what it costs, what it's going to cost, but
probably like $500 or something.
Like, take note of all these clear pieces that are on this gun.
I was thinking 4 or 5, but I'd like to hope that it would be cheaper.
Until we get to that.
Depends what it's made of.
Piece. It's sort of something that we haven't really seen before as well. Prop replicas, even for like, because you get all those official ones, but there's tons of third-party stuff as well. Like, I was looking at prop replicas for like stuff from Halo and Overwatch the other day, and it's just tons of it. Like, they'll make absolutely everything, and which makes this surprising to me, because Transformers has really defined third-party toy manufacturing for the most part, and yet prop replicas are basically untouched.
It goes to what sort of I've pressured into or whatever else. Like I got Nick in the group that's making me a prime gun like this just so I can have one for my cosplay, but sort of those other things that you want to collect because of word of mouth, or just you want something like this in your collection. Like no one's going to have a spot in their G1 collection for a human-sized G1 Prime Blaster. But if that was available at a decent price, I'm sure the vast majority of G1 collectors would want that and would try and find a spot for that in their G1 collection. And again, like there's been a few people before that have tried to do 3D printed kits and stuff like that. I've seen a couple in the States where you're looking at about $300 to get the pieces shipped, and then you assemble and paint yourself and go from there. But it's just one of those things, one of those rarities that a lot of fans, I feel, would want in their collection.
Yeah, it is such an iconic thing that's sort of been passed over by manufacturers for the most part.
Yeah, and we talked in the pre-show too about just the fact that if you want like a Transformers prop, at the moment you can go on eBay, you can buy any size. They've got them at all different sizes. The Revenge of the Fallen Matrix of Leadership, air quotes, because a lot of fans do not see that as the Matrix itself, or at all, or the Cube from the first movie. Apart from that, Transformers movie props pretty much don't exist. This could fill that market quite nicely. And I think a lot of people would be happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's helped by the fact that it's just looks like a really professionally made piece.
Riddle to do is the energy axe.
Oh yeah, can you imagine like if you just sort of
just a big clear acrylic energy
in the end, and then you put your arm up inside of it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you just have the handle like that, like in a ball around it sort of thing, like, and then it'd just be. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Definitely, I think that's something that depending on price, to keep peeled on.
Yeah, it's certainly a more unique piece. So it'd be it'd stand out amongst the rest of your collection.
Down, Bubba, down.
Bad boo boo.
I suppose the last thing too here is would you be happy doing your collecting without groups, without Facebook, without the fandoms, events and conventions? I suppose this would be more of a, could you imagine yourself before where you are now if you're trying to collect 10, 15, 20 years ago without social media, internet, all that? Would you be able to collect as well as you do now? Like that's
absolutely.
mainly retail. Like, if you're looking at anything that wasn't retail, you'd be screwed. Like,
because you take that to its extreme, and that means that all you know about is the stuff that you see on the store shelves.
Yeah,
right. Because like when I first got into collecting, it was like when I read the IDW comics and looked up, oh, is there like a figure of this? Because I'd always thought the Transformers figures looked kind of cool. And then you see on these, fan communities, oh, hey, you can buy a figure of that cool Megatron design. So it's, and then from there, it just spirals out of control. And it goes in conjunction with, getting more involved in the community and, learning stuff through that avenue.
That's it. Yeah. Like it's tough. Like when you say like, how you collect 10 years ago or something, because that's it. Like, Facebook shapes the world these days, like, and that's like even because I only use Facebook for my collecting. Like, I legit did not use it beforehand. I didn't use it as a social media platform or to find friends or to keep in touch with them. I specifically got it to join TCCA originally. Like, I didn't use my account before then. And my mate told me about your club and was like, oh, there's a lot of people on there that sell Transformers. You should look on there to buy some, because that's when I had some money to buy. And that's, since then, now that's why I use Facebook, like with groups, because even HLJ and Amy, they post on Facebook Facebook. So if you like them, you know, like instead of having to go through emails or something, I can just go on Facebook and it'll show up on my feed, you know, like sale, like monthly sale, or, you know, Spring Blossom Festival sale, or this figures on, you know, 1 day sale and stuff like that. So, you know, I'd still definitely be collecting if I went off Facebook tomorrow, but it would, yeah, I'd have to then go onto the websites and actually check the sites, where if I just keep Facebook, it's easier. It's easier for me to collect. But, you know, but I'm not doing it because of the people online. Like, I just share with it because they like it as well. Like, you know, Max collects some things that, you know, we're in the Japanese group. I was talking to him before about Kill la Kill, like the anime, and there's Figma figures of them, like, you know, and that's why I watched the show, because I'd seen the figures come out, and I was like, you know, I'll give that one a go. And it's quite good. But
you forget that, like, the figures can be the avenue to that stuff as well.
Yeah, it can work the other way around. Like, you know, you can see a figure and go, shit, that looks like something I'd like. You know, I'm gonna look into that. And like, yeah, I'm really glad I did. It was like a great anime. Like, really, you know, without saying anything, it's very out there and random and fucking fun and violent. Like, had everything.
Yeah, and that's sort of where you got to break up internet versus social media. Like, you might even on social media, you might follow TFW, Sabertron, or whatever else, where you are just looking for news, new releases, and then video,
all the social media shit in between.
Yeah, video galleries of new bots coming out. As long as you stay out of the comments, you're fine. But
that's all I do. I just log onto my phone and, like, yeah, if I've got 20 notifications, it's, if my name's mentioned, I'll actually read that. But if it's like, you know, Brad's posted in TCCA, I'll quickly pull it up to see. And if you're just talking about something that's not that important, you know what I mean? I just straight away go to the next notification.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're like, check out these new bots coming out. I'll be like, hang on, have a look at this. Like, you know, like,
yeah, and exactly, and that's the thing. Like, you look and we got one thing that's not mentioned tonight is like Studio Series, Bone Crusher, and Optimus announced, like Bone Crusher announced, like stuff like that, and looking, I'll wait until TFW show photos of the actual figure.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, and that might be your source of news, and that's fine. Because that way you don't have to worry about someone posting that to a group and then movie toys.
It's funny how limited people are. Like, you know, in that regard, like in their horizon, like, it's not figure related, but even anime related. Like, the other day, someone was online, you know, going, oh, when's this season of this show going to come out, the second season? And someone straight away commented, like, that's right, I forget that people don't watch anime outside of Netflix. And they're like, you know, season 2's been out for months, buddy. Like, you know, like, and that's it. And it's like, you know, this dude's sitting there going, fuck, when's it coming out, man? Bring out more. And it's like, that's a good example of figures, you know what I mean? Like, figures come out, but they, like, Facebook shapes the world now, and, like, it gets shown on there. Like, that's why they advertise on there. Like, they advertise on their website, but outside of that, they share it on social media.
But when it comes to figures, it's so dependent on what sort of channels you go through to look at news. Like, because I'll be at a meetup or hosting a table, like a convention or something, and I'll, you know, see a local guy who, you know, to be, you know, on top of all, I'm really into the hobby, and then they'll see some figure that you won't, and be like, what the hell is this? I've never seen this before. Because actually knowing about this stuff, compared to, you know, just collecting it, has different priorities for different people.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's one of those things too. Going at where you sort of look for sources. Like, I'll look at Netflix. Arrow, for example. Like season 4 released 6 or 7 months ago. I know for a fact where they're at the moment. Like, season 5's done. They're just filming season 6 now. I won't see season 5 again until Christmas this year, probably, before when it's released on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. I'm not going to go hunt it. When it comes out, it comes out.
But you know of this, and that's fine. That's not the point I was trying to make. But like, this person's under the assumption that it doesn't even exist yet. You know what I mean? Because they're not even going onto the internet and typing, "When's this coming out?" They just straight away get on a post when they see it on Facebook of a picture and go, "Fuck, I wish season 2 was out," and everyone just grills them all of a sudden. Like, yeah, dude, like it's been out for ages, or you know, Netflix isn't where all anime exists. Like, you know.
Yeah. All right. No, we've hit that pretty much nail on the head. Has anyone got any bots to talk about?
Jason was saying that I should do an unboxing of VNC Drift, but I'm not sure if time affords for that tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say we should know. We might know.
I got a cool, fancy, clear Gundam.
That looks like the one in Pacific Rim uprising.
Yeah, well, that just means that they stole that, just like they steal everything else.
No, they just put a Gundam in the movie because it's Japanese Gundam.
Oh yeah, I forgot that there was literally a Gundam in the movie.
Yeah.
What, in Pacific Rim?
Yep.
Yeah,
uprising.
There's a statue of a Gundam when they go to Japan.
Do you want a spoiler?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
Spoiler warning for Pacific Rim 2. Don't go and see it.
Yeah, that's the spoiler. Don't go see it.
Gypsy Avenger crashes and the guy falls out and then looks up and sees a prototype for a not mech. What do you call it? Gundam robot there, and like, oh yeah, this could be fun, and jumps up in it and runs off and takes on the kaiju.
Oh.
That's not true, but still, it would have been fun. It would have been fun.
There is a Gundam in Ready Player One.
Yeah,
of course
that
there
movie is the cheapest form of entertainment imaginable.
Well, it was a book, you know.
I know.
Just you know, before you just think it's just was made for a movie, it was a book, and in the book,
I know,
there's a lot of better stuff like Neon
terrible.
Genesis Evangelion was in there in the book. Did you know that?
I know that movie has plenty of things I really like in it. You know, I saw a trailer and they've got a whole bunch of Halo characters running across the screen. I'm like,
oh, don't get me wrong, the movie's not that good. I've seen it, but I was just mentioning the Gundam.
Where was the Hasbro? Where was the Hasbro money? Where was the Hasbro money?
Apparently, Nitro Zeus was in it.
I did hear that Nitro Zeus and Megatron from The Last Night were in it.
I'll have to watch again.
I would not recommend watching again to try and find it, but I'm sure there's a YouTube video. Wait until the DVD comes out. There'll be a YouTube video showing off every call out in it, and it'll probably go for about 5 or 6 hours. So
yeah, I'd kind of be interested just to like watch those little scenes just to see
they
portray those characters on the screen. Did
they improve the synchronization in number 2, or are they still bloody dancing on treadmills?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Okay.
At least
people try to give me crap because Neon Genesis they have to synchronize, but never do they have to dance about or do anything. They just get in the suit, get in the cockpit, and they're synchronized with the robot. You know, and everyone's like, "Oh, but
you say that, but there's an entire episode dedicated to dancing."
Yeah, like one episode with one little dude, like you know that they had to fight, like, and that wasn't necessarily about their synchronization with each other to get the robot to work. It was for them to be able to.
I'm just taking the piss.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean. That still did have
it's
theories behind.
There's meaning behind it.
I just don't like I like the robots in Pacific Rim. I just don't like. Yeah, like I'd never pilot one. I'd say no, let them die. I'm not doing that with another dude. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I didn't want to pilot an F-14 when I found out there were two seaters.
Well, one's a navigator, but that's just a problem where it's more like Power Rangers. Like in the first one, when they get in the Jaegers, they got to strap their feet into harnesses, so when they walk, they're walking the robot. Yeah,
like you've got a foot each. Like how stupid is that?
Well,
what if one of them passes out?
No, they've both got 2 foot. Anyway, in Pacific Uprising, like and this again, just why are these robots being built past the Mark V we've seen in the first one, where one's now a super elite, agile ninja fembot, and the characters, their feet are just on a glass plate, and they can sit there and they can kick and do scissor kicks in the air or whatever, and that
I swear to God, that thing does a backflip.
Yeah, they instantly translate into the robot doing that move as well. It's like there's nothing, your feet aren't connected to anything. There's nothing to say your foot is going to make the robot foot do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but that movie, I still did enjoy it just because it just didn't care that much. It was just like, yeah, let's just make it fun.
Well,
I mean, I'm not going to call it especially good, but
I enjoyed the action. Like, you know what I mean?
Also,
I do enjoy the action.
Yeah. Speaking of Evangelion, it's basically got the plot of Evangelion.
Yeah, I saw your post. That definitely doesn't make me want to see it. You didn't, even though I love Evangelion. But yeah, I was like,
it's just so many things. Like,
because apparently he hadn't watched Evangelion before he made the first one, but then he's gone out and watched them since then, and like then there's a lot of things that take from Evangelion.
Oh, yeah, like half a bloody movie is just straight out of it. It's ridiculous.
Not John Boyega was in #1, so.
Yeah.
Hey, Transformers! Quickly. Hot Toys, Hot Soldiers, Bumblebee.
Oh, cool. Oh, he's breaking now.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's shot the other way.
And they're Ratchet as well. 2 new figures to talk about. Oh, yeah, he fell there. He's on my seat.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah. Again, of course, they're not masterpiece engineered or scaled. They're Legends figures. Bumblebee was about $25, and he was about the same. So, yeah, they're quite fine.
Party figures, it's a good price.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Bumblebee's head just comes straight out of the boot, does it?
Yeah, that just yeah.
No, I like it. Like, that's nice and easy.
Until I do this.
It's a Legends, I guess.
Yeah, that's horrible. But yeah, again, it's Legends. Like even the back of the feet.
It's just like masterpiece. Masterpiece.
Holy moly! And Ratchet's the same, but that just gets too out of the way before the big reveal next week. So,
okay.
Yeah. That's just two more figures for the Legends scale figures. So go Max.
Yeah, that stuff just seems to be so consistently solid. Like,
yeah. I've got a lot more I'm going to talk about next week. Getting this quickly to say business, the April giveaway is on now. We've got the Shatterglass Optimus Prime, Perikil, as we mentioned earlier. The Twin Twist and Top Spin Takara figures, and a hell of a lot more. So check out the Facebook group, check out the website, transformerscca.com, for all the prizes available in the giveaway. $5 gets you a ticket, and good luck with that. Also, this weekend, I don't think we mentioned it, but the reason Jason is not here, Melbourne Supernova is this weekend. Those listening or watching on YouTube will possibly get this. Those listening will not. Head down. I think we're 1 to 8 in the fan club section of Supernova. So head down. Simon and Chris and Jason have been there late until tonight. I haven't checked Facebook. I hope they're finished by now, but they've been down there busy this afternoon setting up the table for Melbourne Nova. So if you are attending Melbourne Nova, be sure to call past the Transformers Collective Club Australia table.
Is it actually tomorrow?
It's this weekend, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep. We'll save Dalek. You save Dalek, you'll be fine till the end.
So I think we did have the Adelaide meetup.
Oh yes, yeah. Please,
SA members last weekend. So I believe it's the first time we've got one going, and it was fantastic. Thank you to everyone that came along. We were able to host it at Greenlight Comics in the CBD. They were fantastic. They said, hey, you guys want to play music over loudspeakers, or you want to do anything like that, just let us know. Really accommodating guys. It was just a great atmosphere. Everyone just got together, brought some figures along, just had some stuff to eat and drink, and just chatted. It was really chill afternoon.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And like, we can organise these events and meetups, but we really need fans to attend. So it's great to hear we've got a few people down there to attend an event.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of the time it is a bit hit and miss, because sometimes people don't necessarily say if they're coming or not, and then people might pull out or something. But at the end of the day, we just go with it, because even a few people is good enough, and we didn't even have to worry about that because we had about 8 people or so coming along to this one. So it was a really nice turnout.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems when you're trying to organise any event. Is this weekend fine? Is that weekend fine? No, I'm not good for this weekend. Can you do next weekend? And it's just a matter of sort of working it out and say, well, this is the best weekend for everyone.
Yeah, I felt initially I tried to sort it out so it was on a day when absolutely everyone could come, and it just wasn't happening. So we just went for something that seemed doable for most people. And then next time we'll change it up a bit so that we can hopefully get a bit more people coming along.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what we asked for. So, fantastic. So, yes, thank you for listening, watching along those online. This is the record for the Transformers Collectors Club Australia podcast. The produced episode goes up at transformersweekly.podbean.com each week, so you can head over there. You'll see the show notes and see what we're talking about, even though this is off the shelf, off the rails. So there's no run sheet. Head over to iTunes. You can subscribe to Off the Shelf. No, not Off the Shelf. That's old. Off the Rails or Transformers Weekly. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Next week, episode 150. We'll get some fireworks.
How the bloody hell did that happen?
Bring your earplugs. Thank you, John.
Am I still a Dalek?
Yeah, you are still a Dalek.
Oh, yeah.
Exterminate.
Doesn't even have to try. It's great.
There goes the Doctor Who fans. Max, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brett.
All right, we'll be back next week for 150 with Jason and Mikey.
I think John said something.
Exterminate episode.
Probably that you can't understand me.
Oh, it's not just with that. See you guys.
Catch you later.